I am a huge fan of Sean Baker, and I loved his other movie, The Florida Project. From watching his movies, I know that he is going to depict the real-life horrors of women living in the underbellies of American society. Sure, there were other great artists like Janica Bravo, who directed one of my all-time favorite stripper movies. Yes, my friends, I'm talking about Zola. But she did take on a more comical approach to a topic that I think needed more of a critical discourse. Yes, I'm talking about sex work. Sure, the jokes landed as Stephani, played by Riley Kough, spiraled from occasional pole dancer to pole licker.
No teeth. She don't need teeth. I use too much teeth.
Okay, you know I gotta keep this video clean for the algorithm. Yet Sean Baker's Anora stumbles down a similar path when she falls for Ivan, also known as Vanya. He is this super rich Russian man boy who plays people like their toys, knowing that his henchmen, Toro, Garnick, and Igor are going to be left cleaning up his mess.
Bailed you out how many times? Huh? How many times? And you do this to me?
But unlike Zola, Anora isn't funny. In fact, it's heartbreaking. Her fantasy of being a sugar baby slowly turns into a nightmare, while Zola is seduced into a lifestyle that she can't escape from. Anora tries to desperately hold on to an illusion that ultimately ends in her own heartbreak.
You get it?
So we're getting a divorce.
Of course! Are you stupid?
So if you love the movie Anora, or you just like stripper movies in general, you're going to want to watch this entire video.
After tonight, one of you may very well become a princess.
You really think so?
I do. And after all the bad things that have happened in our lives, wouldn't it be nice if we had something good?
People think that Anora is just another Cinderella story, but that would be far from the truth. Cinderella, my friends, was a master manifester. And I'm not just talking about magical fairy dust. I'm talking about the magic of self-reflection and transformation. You see, a lot of people misinterpret Cinderella and think that she was waiting to be saved. She was waiting for a man to save her. In truth, she was just trying to get out of a terrible situation. Her sisters were vengeful and jealous, and her stepmother, why, she was wicked. Cinderella, like any manifesting witch, didn't break under the pressure. Instead, she rose above it, retreating into her own inner worlds and creating a fantasy that brought her peace and joy.
And so now I'm here to save you by sending you to that ball.
Well, I'm not allowed at the ball. And quite frankly, I think you're a figment of my imagination.
Okay, let's not ruin this incredibly magical moment with reason.
Through her suffering, Cinderella learned about the power of manifesting and how she could change her life through visualizations and positive thinking.
What is that? Is that a butterfly?
Yeah, it's a butterfly.
You're so classy. I know. I got dollar signs like a real hoe. No, but you're manifesting with those.
By the time she got to the ball, she shined brighter than any other woman. It wasn't because she was the most beautiful. It was because she was the most refined. Like a real diamond, she never broke under the pressure. She always stayed true to who she truly was.
Cinderella, I don't know how you did what you did last night, but the prince chose you. He loves you. Marry him and all of our problems will be solved.
Cinderella, unlike Anora, never allowed others to define her.
Elvira.
Phone. Phone.
Although she was the underdog, she refused to be a character in someone else's play. She took control of her life, changed the narrative, and thus snagged the winning prize, the Royal Prince. But sadly, many people think that Cinderella got lucky, or that fate was on her side.
You're so lucky. Oh my god, I know. Thank you. You hit the lotto, bitch.
Like Anora, they believe that if they hold on to the illusion for just a little while longer, their prince will ride up and save them. When in truth, it was Cinderella who saved herself. The Cinderella fairy tale is the primary reason why falling in love is synonymous with illusions.
He wanted just leave the house?
He did not leave. He is going to get help.
I don't think so.
And why people tend to invest more into the illusion than they do into the actual relationship. Anora had mastered the illusion. It was her job to provide the fantasy. And yes, she had to play roles and wear a mask to get her money.
Let's go.
Time is money, baby. Get a roll on it.
However, in her world, she was the boss. She was in control. She knew that she was hustling to make that money, and Ivan was just another John to get tricked and played. But as the story unravels, we see Annie leaving her world and entering his. It all starts with expensive dances, invites to exclusive New Year's Eve parties, and propositions to be his girlfriend for the week. Annie is swept away by the lifestyle as Ivan and his friends fly to Vegas, party into the wee hours of the night, and eat at the most amazing restaurants. But this is not Annie's world, it's Ivan's.
Now, when I stand, you stand. When I walk, you walk. Got it?
We see a similar storyline take place in Zola, where Stephani tricks Zola into going to Tampa for the night. Now, Zola should have run for the hills when Stephani, along with her pimp, rolls into her driveway. But the allure of fast and easy money causes her to get into that damn car, surrendering her power and entering the world of sex work. Sadly, poor people are fascinated with the rich. They can't believe that they can buy whatever they want without going into debt or having to work 50 plus hours to purchase it. Furthermore, working at a soul-sucking job takes a toll on people, both mentally and physically. Look at Annie. She lived in a shared apartment in New York City on the Metro line. She worked at a nightclub with no health benefits or real career advancement.
Once you give me health insurance, workers' comp, and a 401k, then you can tell me when I work and not work.
Annie, much like Stephani and Zola, is eking out a living, working hard for the almighty dollar.
How much y'all make?
8,000.
What?
So when Ivan flashes all that green, he tempts Annie's in ways that she simply can't resist.
15 cash up front.
Deal.
He proposes, slides a huge diamond ring on her finger, and she is over the moon. She did it. She hit the jackpot and she never had to worry about working or hustling ever again. That is until Garnick and Igor ring the door, demanding to see their marriage certificate. Now, Zola foolishly believes that she can make $5,000 per night just dancing.
Last month, I went dancing at this cute spot in Florida where my roommate's girl made like 5 G's a night.
However, when Stephani reveals the real reason why they went to Tampa, Zola doesn't just take her money and run. Instead, she takes on the role as madam, watching over her as she completes her transactions. Regular people who don't understand the industry would wonder how such beautiful women can get caught up in terrible situations. The answer to that question is easy. It's fast money. But it's also the fact that these women lose themselves in the fantasy. Stephani was willing to do anything and everything simply because she was no longer in charge of her life. Any type of doubt that she had was overwritten by fear. The fear of being harmed, the fear of being embarrassed, the fear of going broke, the feeling of being shamed.
This is messy. You are messy. Your brain is broke.
Many working class people fail to understand that fear in itself is an illusion. And when you succumb to it, you are allowing the rich and the powerful and the oligarchs to rewrite your narrative. You become a character in their play.
Actually, the picture is very, very clear here. A scheming prostitute married Ivan, cheated Ivan to marry her so she can steal from his wealthy family.
At least that was the case for Toro and Garnick. Once Ivan is confronted about his marriage to Annie, he runs off, completely abandoning her.
Great husband you have. First ditches you, now doesn't answer your calls.
Igor and Garnick apprehend Annie but get mangled and beat up in the process. They then chase Ivan all around town like he's some type of toddler. Not because they're concerned about his well-being, but because they're afraid of losing their jobs.
So, hey, you think you could do my job better than me?
Yep.
They're status symbols, their only means of making money. Stephani and Zola are constantly putting themselves in danger, coming face to face with hardened criminals. But Stephani is completely lost. She had turned into a marionette doll and her pimp was pulling her strings.
I'm trying to save!
Zola is fighting hard not to follow in her footsteps, but you can see the pain and turmoil all over her face.
You're supposed to be looking out for her, Zola. You're supposed to be looking for her.
Who's looking out for me?
Anora is also working hard to stay in control, yet Toro and his henchmen are hell-bent on breaking her. In short, they want her to be a character in their play. They continually devalue her, calling her names, insulting her intelligence, and treating her like she's a doormat.
Understand, he shamed his family by marrying somebody like you. If you think for a second this is going to be allowed, you're dead wrong.
Yet Annie is still holding on to the fantasy that Ivan will ride up and save her. If only she could talk to him. If only she could see him again. If only he would be sober enough to have a real conversation with her.
Yes? Vanya and I, we are in love, and we would like you to accept that.
Vanya is not in love with you. Understand? And we will not accept it.
Zola is holding on to her own fantasy, asking for permission to leave, knowing damn well that she had proven to be too valuable to be let go.
50 grand. 50 grand. Hey, 50 grand, 50 grand. If you could keep this, all of it.
Worse, both Annie and Zola ignore the red flags. Ivan running off would have been a deal breaker for most women. But as Annie scours the town, questioning his friends, she sees how Ivan had indirectly burned them too. Igor smashes up the candy shop that his friends worked at. Toro storms into Eric's job, risking him getting fired. And Ivan stiffs a waitress for a whopping $800. The irony is that Ivan acts very much like a pimp. He uses the people around him for pleasure, only to dispose of them once they are no longer needed. He has no regard for their feelings or for their livelihood or for their means of making money. Ivan isn't just a man boy, he is a sociopath.
Once we find Ivan, which we will, and we get this thing annulled, which we will, you're gonna walk away with 10K fee and never ever contact Ivan again. Is that understood?
Ivan isn't the only one who has a few screws loose. Stephani's boyfriend Derek follows her around like a sick puppy dog. Like her, he got sucked into the fantasy, even when confronted with glaring evidence that she had been unfaithful. Derek sticks around, hell-bent on saving her from her unholy lifestyle. Only problem is, Stephani doesn't want to be saved. She is in too deep and doesn't have the will or the strength to take control of her fate.
Let's just go. You don't gotta do this. You got a little money on you right now. You can stretch that out.
Annie doesn't seem to have much of a choice. After being berated by Toro, she then gets her ass handed to her by Ivan's mother, Galina.
Ivan is not your husband. And you are not part of this family.
Now, Galina is a real wicked stepmother. She is cold-blooded, tearing down all Annie's dreams of love and a happily ever after. In short, Galina puts Annie in her place. Sadly, Annie gets her final wake-up call when she hears Ivan, her knight in shining armor, call her out of her name. Yes, he didn't call her an escort. He basically called her a whore.
And you are discussing hooker.
And your son hates you so much he married one to piss you off.
Listen up.
And that, my friends, was the straw that broke the camel's back. Annie was officially broken. It was at this moment that Annie saw herself from the lens of Galina, Garnick, Toro, and even Ivan. She saw herself as a whole. She had surrendered her power, allowing them to write the narrative, and she was simply a character in their play. Worse, the oligarchs ripped off her mask, leaving her ailing from the pain of heartbreak and shame. But contrary to popular opinion, Anora did have a happy ending.
I like Anora. I like Anora more than Penny.
Igor was her knight in shining armor. He was the one who stayed by her side and never judged her for her profession or her choices. Instead, he demanded that she get treated with some level of respect and dignity. And he was the one who pulled the fast one on Toro and Ivan when they refused to give her what he was asking for. He gave Annie back her engagement ring, and thus he gave her back her self-respect and her pride. Anora finally felt like she was in a safe place to be vulnerable, as Igor holds her, giving her the warmth and the love that she so desperately needed. So what do you think Anora was about? What do you think Zola was about? What do you think about sex workers trying to find love and marriage? Please sound off in the comments below.